Welcome to another Good Dads podcast. Well, it's just myself, Jay Fotsch, and Jason Hynson from Victory Mission.
Oh my gosh! Here we are.
The intentional dad is kind of our theme this year,
right?
And this one specifically we're doing today is starting strong with babies. Sure. And since you have 83 kids,
83 plus
83.
just 7 people. I say that like only 7
just
and
7.
Yeah, it's like whoa, that's a lot. Yeah,
I have this ongoing joke, and we talk about this on the radio as well. Is that anyone with over 2 kids are a little bit out of their mind?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right. I tell people all the time, dude, we were crazy. Like we thought we were gonna have 2. We had a boy and a girl, and then people are like, well, how'd you end up with all those? I'm like, well, we don't know what we're doing. So anyway, I mean, it's fun, but it's also like, and you're in the middle of this. So why are we talking to Jay Fotsch? You got to kind of let the people in on a little bit of your story.
So we have now a son, baby Gibson, who is over a month old now.
Yep.
And it is, I kind of understand this aspect of it. You're just so delusional. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're like a walking zombie.
Yes.
No one's getting sleep. So you're like, why not have another one?
Yeah, that's right.
I kind of get why you have 74 kids.
That's good.
The number's going to change every time.
Yeah. So the funny part about this, let me tell you this story. So I remember my like our first kid, my wife one time, she's like, okay, go get the baby. So I like stand up. I'm hugging a pillow. I thought it was our son. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got our kid. No, I'm holding a pillow. So like back to delusional, like who knows? We're not in our right minds. And also I think what that produces sometimes is we're not in a good place. Like relationships are then in trauma, sometimes because nobody's sleeping, you kind of do that tit for tat. Like, well, I got him last time. You get him this time. Like, depending on where you are with the whole nursing aspect.
I think that for me and you personally, we run kind of high.
Yeah, we do.
We run kind of hot. Like we got a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. You know what I've noticed about not getting a lot of sleep is I feel like a normal person. I have like just kind of low energy and I'm just kind of like, yeah. And I have like regular people conversations. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm kind of like normal. So maybe it's good. Maybe it takes the edge off that I need at a personal level. I don't know. Maybe.
I could see that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But because we're in this space and I think as a dad, like I've always wanted to come through for my wife, or some people, you want to show up for them. Mm-hmm. And if you're not your best, I think that can be a challenge. At least I've noticed that. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. So, and with the whole sleep aspect and the whole planning aspect, I'll ask you this, and this is something that we kind of went through as well. And I'll start this with a little short story of us checking into the hospital whenever my wife went into labor, and she's like, and my wife was telling one of the nurses who had 3 boys in her 20s.
Okay.
She was like, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to have the baby, and then we're going to have my daughter come in, and my daughter's going to meet her, and then she's going to go out to like my mom and my grandma and announce to everyone, and then they're going to come in. We're going to do videos and pictures. And the nurse started laughing. She's like, I remember those times where I thought that I could just control everything. And just know the outcome and like think I'm going to be running everything.
Sure.
And at that moment, I was like, and this was right, this is probably 8 hours before we actually had our baby. I was like, oh yeah. Like as much as we talk about on these podcasts, as much as we talk about planning, as much as we talk about, what we've been through, there's always a curveball.
Absolutely.
There's always curveball. And then it's almost kind of like, people will ask me, what are you guys planning on? Like, how does it look like on a night since he's not sleeping well? Do you have a night? And does she have a night? Like, how are you? And it's like, you can plan a little. Yeah. But then after that, it all goes out the window.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember every one of my children have been different. So like my oldest slept pretty good. Our next one, our daughter, the oldest daughter, she screamed all the time.
Yeah.
Like all the time. And then one sleeps and then one screams, and then you got these colicky. I think we were like, there was like this, like baby, I don't know, it's like antacid for babies, and like our pediatrician was like, you can just, those are okay, just give it to him. I think we were just like, drink this. If this is the problem, like, can we put a nipple on that and just let them drink that?
Yes.
Stuff like that. But I'll tell you, this is like one thing I stepped out to us. We had a chiropractor, our like 5th kid, our chiropractor was like, hey, bring him in, we can adjust him. And I was like, it's like they're a baby. It was like a gold mine. I gave that to another friend. I was like, take him to a chiropractor. I mean, some of them are more comfortable with that. They have scopes of work, but like maybe it's the spine thing. They did just come through like, watermelon coming through this very small. So like, there's a lot of trauma, in their neck. So that was helpful. So there's a little tip for, I'm not a chiropractor. I don't try to pretend to be one on TV.
Neither one of us are doctors.
Yes.
But I cannot believe you're just saying this because we have been having some
colicky,
acid problems. We've been through, the nursing and some of the formula mixed in to make sure that he can. Yep. And so there's been like 3 different kinds. There's been prescription stuff. There's been over-the-counter stuff.
Yep.
And our pediatrician was like, try chiropractor.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I can't believe you're just saying this. So we did, and it's kind of helped him. And we're gonna take the baby back. And I had a conversation with my mom the other day, and I can tell, I can tell. It's just like, the older generation or even, anything that's like new. She's like, so you took it to a chiropractor? What is it? Or they just crack its back? Or what happened? I mean, we didn't do that in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, that's kind of, that's very new age.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know. I don't know. I mean, there's all different kinds of things that are out there, and there's new things even from 5 years ago than we have today.
That's right.
And there's different things that are acceptable and they're not. So, that's another thing. You're open for suggestions. It's just like, look, I want to keep this baby alive. I want to help him.
Yeah.
He's struggling.
Yeah.
What do I do? And you can't really plan for that.
No. So like maybe tip number 1 for all you guys, if you're not watching, tip number 1 is like, be teachable, right? Yeah. Maybe the intentional father with a new baby is teachable. Like, or you let, you don't let all those mindsets or like everybody tell anything new. You're going to ask questions, but like, don't let people tell you you're wrong, or like, hey, I'll take that, but like maybe I listen to the pediatrician who like, or like if she's suggesting that, try it. If it doesn't work, maybe somebody else is trying.
Right.
I mean, didn't they used to give whiskey to kids?
Yeah.
Like, somebody's like, put a little Jack Daniels in there. I'm like,
Grandma's judging me, but Grandma used to give Dad whiskey when he was 6 months old.
I mean, I don't know how many times people have told me that. I'm just thinking, what are we doing?
Well, that sounds silly.
That sounds. Now all of a sudden we're giving alcohol. Who decided that was a good idea?
What's happening?
I prefer the chiropractor over Jack Daniels. Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying.
Well, Jason, you're kind of new school. That's kind of a new school kind of a thing.
But I love that in that sense of like, hey, we're going to try things. The intentional father, that's what we're doing. Because, I mean, anybody listening to that, and depending on where you are, not everybody's got the same, nothing's standardized anymore, right? Yeah. You don't, like that nurse telling you that story. Not everybody's 20-something having babies anymore. People are waiting longer to get married. Yeah. People are in second families, third family, all these different complexities that are happening. So be teachable.
Right.
Be humble to be like, maybe I don't have it all. Or the first time I did it, I didn't do it right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think that like the whole point of this too is not to say that having a plan is bad. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I mean, that's great, but I think be prepared for it to all go out the window.
Yeah.
I think it's like my biggest takeaway on everything. It's almost kind of like, well, I'm going to be there for him. And if he has any questions, we're going to talk about it.
Right.
And he's going to talk about anything he wants to me. Well, that sounds really nice.
Yeah. Because
but what happens when it doesn't happen?
Yeah. Cause I've got teenagers. I now have 4 teenagers at 19, 17, 15, 13. Right in my house.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
And, I'm good. But you're exactly right, dude. I've had some that are like, they want to talk and it's usually at 11 p.m. Yeah. I'm like, I got to get up at 6:30, whatever.
I'll never forget that too. And that was one of the conversations we've had on a different episode of The Intentional Dad is you're like, I'm really tired. I'm half asleep. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yep.
But then one of my kids comes up to me while I'm in the hallway. I have a whole thing of dirty clothes. I'm getting ready to do it before I go to bed. And they're like, hey, I really wanted to talk to you about something that went on today. And you're like, I drop all the clothes and I go, what do you want to talk about?
That's right.
As tired as I am, because you don't know when you're going to have that 1 second again. Or it might be a couple days, it might be a couple weeks, whatever that is. I remember you saying that, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna remember that for when I'm really tired or I don't really want to talk to anyone.
Yes. Well, because sleep, like for us, like you're saying, depending on people out there, whoever that is listening, like, they might not be as wired as, man, those guys, do they ever shut up? That's
I've never heard that before. I don't know what you mean.
Not from us, other people. But I think for us, like even just being intentional in that space to support, like our wives, are in different spaces too.
Sure.
Right. And so that intentional father, like I think about that for my wife, like I'm there for her. Not like sometimes my needs have to go out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because we want to, and sometimes showing up is different. Maybe it is more laundry for us because she's got the nursing train or other things that we can't do. I don't know how many times my wife was like, dude, next kid, you're nursing. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe you keep doing that and then I'll keep with the other kids.
Sure, yeah. I can run interference on them.
Right.
I can help with them a little bit more.
And when I think our first one came, then I had the dogs, then our second one came, then I got the first kid, then our third one came, then I got the first two. I just realized my roles started shifting, and being that intentional dad means whatever plan you think you have, I'll be there for her. It's out the window when it's like she's the only one that can do this.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that can do that.
She might need something, or somebody might need something in the moment that you didn't even plan for.
Right.
Or you didn't even think about. You're like, oh, okay, I forgot about that. So that kind of leads us into our next point of starting strong with babies, and that is support.
Yeah.
Whether that be your community or family support. I think when we're talking a little bit about lack of sleep and how we can support each other, whether that's spouses, family, what does that look like for grandparents?
That's right.
Aunts and uncles, cousins if they want to babysit. And I mean, I can tell you right now that we've been blessed that we've had, my mom, my mother-in-law, aunts, our cousins helping out with, maybe it's not even the newborn, but maybe it's our 6-year-old.
Sure.
Helping with her, or like doing some activities, or it is me helping my wife take like the 6-year-old to the circus.
Sure.
And have like a dad-daughter kind of day out of the house kind of thing, to make sure she's getting the love and attention, that we need to give her too.
Yeah, because that's a hard thing. That's also, one of those other subjects of like siblings and that sibling rivalry. Now mom and dad's attention is on baby.
Yeah.
And like maybe your support could be, one of the things we always did is like, when the baby's sleeping, mama's sleeping, so like trying, that was like a tip somebody gave us. And I'm like, that sounds good. Back to plans, right? With all this other stuff you got to do. But, like exactly what you said, the intentional dad, maybe I'm just intentional with the kid, the 6-year-old, the other siblings.
Whatever's needed from you.
Right.
You're ready.
Right.
Like, put me in, coach.
Yes.
Like, whatever you need.
Well, and that's even a shift, right? I don't know if my dad, like, that's a generational thing, too, is like this co-parenting thing. I don't even know if that was a lot in with our parents. I know
can
that
tell
wasn't.
you from my dad, it wasn't.
Yeah. I'm the breadwinner. There were some of those things that are there. Yeah.
Like the stuff that I'm doing right now, my mom is probably like, what is happening? Your dad didn't do any of this. My dad changed one diaper between me and my sister when we were growing up, and it was mine. And he swore he would never do another one, and he didn't.
So funny.
One diaper.
Yeah.
So I've been joking with my wife. I'm like, I'm only going to do one diaper like my dad.
And she's like,
no, that's not how it works anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're out of that generation?
Do you want to still be married after the end of this?
So I would just like to say I'm a diaper expert.
Yeah, bro.
I'm really good at it. I'm just, look at these.
Yeah.
These look like diaper hands.
Well, I had a friend who they adopted a kid, and that's a totally different thing when you adopt, because then neither one of you are really that nursing thing's off the table. So you're going to bottle feed.
Sure.
So there's this rotation. I think even with my wife, like, I mean, this is getting really personal, but like some things like, if you want to pump, so there's like nurse pumping, so you got that. So then I got to bottle feed our kid, so I put them to bed every night. So then my wife so again, back to that, like, not to say the plan, talk about a plan, try to do that, but like that way I could be involved more with our oldest for sure, because otherwise I'm just sort of like sitting there watching TV, twiddling my thumbs. And it was like, hey, maybe you can help with this. So there was some ways I could be engaged. Yeah. And that was cool. Like thinking back to that, my wife's pretty, like, she's amazing. We're still married. So I did something right. But I think like just trying to be more engaged, or like some of the words that I use now, I was watching, how can I help? I mean, just real simple things like that. Yeah. Like, how can I help? And sometimes she might not know. It's like when tragedy strikes, and we were talking to another one of our dads earlier on, like there was a lot of medical conditions and that, he was in a car accident and different things. And it's like, maybe sometimes or it was his wife, I think was it, but it was like, sometimes you don't know what to help, and maybe you're just there, right? Like just being present. Sure. Like, I'm just going to sit with you, and like, we're here together, we're with this. And so maybe it's that time to, put the phone down or whatever the distractions are.
Have a meal, take a walk, play a game. Absolutely. This Good Dads podcast is brought to you in part by our generous supporters. This week, we'd like to thank the following: Table Rock Shores, ESC Consulting, Dr. and Mrs. Benji and Lori Lambert, Merrill, a Bank of America company, Mrs. Dottie Wolf. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Visit our website at gooddads.com to learn how to contribute to the Good Dads mission. Was there any support like within your family, whether that be parents or cousins or anybody even in the community? I mean, I know that like our neighbors have been great. Yeah. Like, just at our house. I mean, it's been wonderful, and how much that does help kind of like give you a nap. Yeah. Whether it's you or your wife or both together, that's been amazing.
I think one of the things that I remember my mother-in-law did is she would do like 6 to 8 meals. Oh. So like the freezer meals, you had all this casserole like sitting in the back, and all you had to do was put it in the oven.
I know.
Right? Yes. 350 for 15 minutes. I think everything's 350 for 15 minutes. I know. Yes. 350, 15 minutes. It's like every pizza. But I think even that, like we did that for some friends. I think I went to Sam's Club, right? Yeah. And I bought 2 things of Jack's Pizza for like $9.99. Mm-hmm. And they have those, and they have a bunch of kids. And so that's a way you could support, even like, think about somebody that, even if you don't know them, just being intentional about being a good neighbor, being a community support, knowing that, hey, it's hard right now, and we're going to support you with frozen pizzas or frozen food or soup or something. Yeah. Food's a critical thing. We're all going to eat.
It really is.
It is.
Like our one neighbors, she cooks, like, they brought over like some beef and steaks and like scalloped potatoes.
We're having a baby 9 months from now.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I think we're hungry again next week.
Yeah, like, that's right. That's good.
This is amazing.
It's so good.
So it's been really awesome. So we talk about, I know you have 68 kids.
Yep, 68.
And we talk about the other siblings. Is there any time that they can help out each other too, whenever you have maybe younger kids, or them helping each other? Because I've noticed that as well.
I think that's really a good point, because there's a lot of those, even in the mixed families, multiple different scenarios that bring about those families. So like you might have a kid that's older. I even had one friend was telling me like they had like a 12-year-old and then like a 4-year-old and like a newborn. And you're like, whoa, what's going on there? I mean, whatever's going on there, there's clearly these other dynamics, but I almost felt like it got easier once we had some support, because my wife, even I could leave more, and then my wife could have them help, like, they could make quesadillas or something. Mm-hmm. They could, there were little things like, hey, go get cereal. They could help another kid get cereal. So if you have maybe in like on your 3rd, or if you're super crazy, you got 4 or 40, but like whatever that is, it's like other kids can sort of help those other ones, within limits, obviously, like maybe we're not like, we're not doing filet mignon or anything, but Yeah, that was helpful for us.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, we can already see that with our 6-year-old and the newborn, where she's, not necessarily making meals, but she's helping mom get diapers and put stuff away.
They're the gophers, you know, hey, oh my gosh, like I didn't know the surprise poop. That's what I like to call it. Like you pull it out, you're like, whoa, didn't know that was coming. I need wipes. That's so good. We're like, stat. It's like you're a physician. Where's my nurse? I need a helper in here.
Yes, we have noticed that with her. Like she's really great. And we kind of did the sibling books.
Yes.
We're like, hey, you're going to be the big sister. Like this is, some of the things. And I think that kind of got her excited.
It does.
So,
Well, it makes it like a team effort. And I think like even the whole concept of an intentional dad is really that concept of just another teammate. Like your wife's on an island, whatever's going on there, like they can feel alone in this time. And even that postpartum, whatever's going on, emotions are happening. They're rewiring. All this stuff's going on with hormones.
I haven't experienced that. So
well, good. My wife didn't really. I think everybody's in a different space.
Yeah, I mean, mine she doesn't have big feelings at all.
Is she listening in right now? It's like don't check out that one podcast episode.
Like here's the thing though, like in that kind of and I joke around, but we joke around about it too.
Sure,
like because we both going back to the lack of sleep, we both have big feelings.
Yes.
So it's just it's a lot right now, and so it's not hurts me too.
Yeah. I used to tell people that, dude, my hormones would kind of match. We were watching a TV show, like a commercial, and I was like, why am I getting choked up right now? I'm an emotional person, but I was super, like some of those things that were different. Like you get emotions in those spaces.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. So we got this on our list. Best advice versus worst advice for starting strong with babies.
Man, best advice, I think just being there. You can't beat being present, right? Being present in the moment. I like to, this is something I was just thinking of, like, love is always in the present, and it's always present in like the presence. Your presence is the most loving thing you can do with people. Like, when people are in crisis, worst advice, maybe that's the Jack Daniels thing.
Jason,
don't put that on a pacifier. What are they doing with that?
The grandmas would disagree with you.
Yeah, well, they would, we used to just give them a little. But I think the worst advice is like almost like sometimes people tell you things like you can't give them a bottle and then they'll never do this, or like just like letting everybody else influence you can be the worst advice. Like, you can hear that, especially as a couple, but know, like, you're united as a front. Don't let the in-laws on each side or
don't
other
pick
things.
Up that baby.
Yeah.
Let them cry it out.
Yes.
Let them cry it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, the doctor told us the first 4 months you shouldn't. And then after 4 months, then you can kind of start sleep training. Nope. Yeah. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, best advice we heard was, like, you can't spoil a baby. Yeah. That was good. Yeah. And just, like, hug them. Love them. I remember, my wife has her own opinions, and so she wouldn't let me go to sleep. So like I remember like taking a turn when it was kind of colicky, when the baby would wake up in the middle of the night, and I remember being in one of those chairs, just like, I can't go to sleep. But I started listening to like audiobooks, different stuff, and you do what you got to. You'll sleep. Yeah. Eventually, it'll come. Yeah. All these things pass.
Would you say also the worst advice is to have high expectations of your plan?
Yeah, dude. I think we've hit that on a lot of it.
More so than I was even planning on. And I'm planning. See,
and everybody seriously is telling you how to solve that problem. And one of those was, every kid is literally all my 7 kids or 77, whichever it was. They were all different. And some would sleep better. Some, there were seasons of that. Then you get into these growth spurts. And so then there's other things. Then you get to teething. like as the kid develops and changes, and that's really us too. Like think about who we were 10 years ago. We're not the same people.
Right.
Hopefully we're growing and changing and trying to be our best selves and best version of ourselves. And that's what we're doing. The kids are doing the same thing, shifting.
So I guess my last question to wrap this up today is this the best advice or the worst advice? And that is, someone told me that we can still drop the baby off at the fire station. Good advice, best advice, worst advice.
You could just set them there. Wait a second. Is this
talking
like,
about old school ideas, man?
That's right.
Give the kid
I'm
whiskey,
thinking like,
and if
is
you don't
this
like
like,
it, drop it off in the fire
drop them
station.
off there? No, I don't think you can do that anymore.
You can't. Okay,
no,
so that
Jay.
would be under the category of worst.
I know you could take. We used to be able to take your car seat there to have it checked out. Maybe that's
or
what it
smoke
was.
alarms.
The smoke alarm.
Yeah, totally different than a baby.
Yeah, don't leave your baby. Don't leave them in a box on the back step. No.
There we go.
No, I think, and I think what as a couple, as that the best advice is really just love them to death, hug them as much as you can, and know, like whatever challenges are going to do it, you're going to be stronger when you walk through it together.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's it.
Be ready to roll with it.
Be ready to roll.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be a challenge, and you're growing as a person. So
there it is.
Yeah,
And that's from the man with 99 children.
97.
Jason Hynson from Victory Mission, the Intentional Dad. Thank you as always.
Hey, man.
It's
It was a pleasure. Yeah. Jay Fotsch, everybody. Come on.